What's poppin', Guardians? As the title says, as if you've seen all throughout Twitter, YouTube, and everything, Bungie Layoffs has happened for a second time, and it's very unfortunate. I'm very sorry. Heart goes out to everyone who's been affected, and if you know someone dearly who has been affected, and the best way to really help them out right now is get their word out, get their name out, recommend them to other places, really help them out find a new job, one that especially is deserving of them, because this is the industry's leading talent that very much needs place. And I myself am someone who I feel very much closely to what's going on right now, because I do also work in the game industry, a lot more redacted than anything. But I do want to say that it is fearful right now. It is scary to really see this still continuing on, especially Bungie with Destiny 2 being one of the most revenue gaining games out there. You might find that hard to believe, but yes, it generates a lot of money. The gaming industry just generates a lot of money. And it's really insane that apparently to Bungie leadership or investors or whatever's going on, that's not enough. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This video very much is just commentary only. The gameplay is some scratch footage from some other build stuff, but even like right now with what's going on, I don't even want to post a build video. I've been honestly a little bit discouraged from what's the state of PvP really is only playable during trials, because 66 is hell and I don't want to deal with it. But nevertheless, there's bigger issues going on, and let's talk about it. So how did we get to this point? How did we get to this quote unquote new path for Bungie? 220 layoffs and another 115 people moving from Bungie to be integrated with Sony. Nearly 30% of their current workforce is gone, if not moved to somewhere else. And many of the workers and devs have tweeted out saying that they have wanted to work at Bungie for such a long time, and to get their dream crushed is so breaking. It's hurtful. It's just painful to see. A side note, I'm someone who grew up with a ambition to want to work in the game industry. And these last couple of years with all these layoffs and everything, especially at Bungie, no, I don't want to do that. I think honestly at this point, I'm just better off working for my own or creating my own indie studio, working by myself, which I already kind of do with another friend of mine, a very close friend. And just push out there, make games our own. Because if we have leadership above us or investors hounding us each time, no, that's not the way to live. And it's been talked about time and time again that Bungie leadership has been very, very poor, very, very horrible, and not listening to not only the devs, but even to the player base themselves. The memes of we're here, we're listening, or whatever the hell it's called, it's not true. It's very much not true, because we've talked endlessly to the devs, and the devs have talked to their leadership, and countless times they have said on Glassdoor that leadership at Bungie does not care, they do not listen, they just want to do whatever they think is right. And when the devs are literally screaming that, hey, this is how we can fix our game and player base would love it, they still say no. And I wonder why. I wonder what gets pushed endlessly in the Destiny 2 marketplace. Cough skins, ornaments, microtransactions, Eververse all the time. We're tired of it, but the investors and leadership is not, because that's bonus revenue for them. Speaking of Sony, what happened to the money that was basically given or contracted or whatever was going on with that? 1.2 billion employee retention money was used just to keep the employees, to prevent future layoffs. Where'd that money go? What happened? By the way, again, the final shape made a lot of money, a stupid amount of money. Just think the biggest number in your head. No, think bigger. That's as much, if not more. And the number is insane, because you even think about like the player base on Steam, the player base on Xbox and PlayStation is even bigger. And there's tweets endlessly about like how much people are calculating the money, and it's still, the number just keeps on growing and growing and growing. Where's all this money gone? What's happened? How much is needed to actually keep the game alive? It just doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't even make any sense more. Why would you let go of your top talent? Now the quality is going to dip. Now we're going to see the impact in the next year on what happens when you let go of your top quality. Your best developers, the QA team, the player support team is just gone. They just don't exist anymore. So what the hell is going to happen with this game in this upcoming months? For, if anything, year. Don't know. Bugs will not get fixed. Things will not get fixed. The game isn't in a horrible shape. It can be better, and the devs even can do this work. But leadership doesn't want to. And I'm going to repeat this a lot, that leadership doesn't want to. Leadership has their head up their ass. There's a particular one that goes around Twitter and has a big love for cars. You know it, we're talking about it, and it's a prime example. And if it's even a person that's being used as a scapegoat, it's still a very prime example, a very real example, and a lot of devs are really speaking out upon them. Yeah, it's people like this that don't let us have a good game. It's people like this that hold up the phenomenon that is Destiny 2. The game that should have died years ago, but is still alive to this day. A live service game that's looked up by other studios is as the prime example what they want to be. Something that is also very fun, very unique, very fluid and amazing, runs super smooth, quote unquote. It still generates money, makes good money, you know? But it's leadership that doesn't let this prosper more into better terms. No over delivery was said several times the last year, and it goes to show why. So what's with the now and the future? Well, apparently Sony does already have a good hand on Bungie right now on what's going on. Herman Hulst is running Bungie now, and it's a CEO from Sony. So this is also a good example of what's going to happen is we're going to see more of the integration of Sony, more decisions made from what seems directly like Sony. And this is all speculation too. This is not by heart. I don't know any factual things. I'm just imagining from what I'm seeing on other people's very solid good points that Sony's first steps of really taking over Bungie is here and now. And by cutting off a lot of loose ends, a lot of people who were expected to get raises, to get more money for the higher shareholders or whatever, the higher ups, this is very much the start. And who knows, maybe even Bungie's leadership might be gutted and we might see some more intense changes in the future. Who knows too, we might see the completely reverse, the leadership stays and it's just more of a clean slate of what's going on in Bungie. We don't know. We really don't know, and we won't know until things happen. And that's probably the more shaky, uneasy part about it too. So let's knock on wood and hope for the best. Again, I do want to point out that Twitter is very much a good source of what's going on. The voices of the devs and everyone that's talking about this very much jump into the conversation, look up on everything that's going on. It's really much what gives you a more clear insight of what everyone's been feeling, and especially the frustrations towards Bungie's leadership and everything. This is more than just a game of Destiny 2. This doesn't even have anything to do with Destiny 2. There's no talks about the amount of work that the devs do. The final shape almost got ruined, and because of all these bugs, so many things that could have caused wall skating and shadow skating to be removed, they were fixed, and it's all thanks to them. And now they're laid off thanks to Bungie. So as a player, what can you really do to support Bungie, to support the remaining Bungie devs, to support the devs that are no longer there? What can we do to try to avoid supporting leadership? Well, look at it this way. As a player base, it's impossible. It's a lose-lose situation no matter what. If you play the game, you're just playing, you're not affecting anyone. You're very much in a neutral state. Nothing's gonna happen. You enjoy the game. At this point, I encourage you to play it just because it's still a way to show that players care, but also continue to vote with your wallet. Do not buy microtransactions. Do not buy the upcoming event card that's coming for Solstice or whatever the event is, the seasonal event. Do not do that. Instead, use that same money and spend it on indie developers. Indie developers the past years have been making phenomenal, amazing games that just leave people speechless. And seriously, go look up some games in the indie area. That same money you would have spent on an event card or microtransaction, that one emote, whatever, use it to buy those games, because those devs, those money is going straight into developers' pockets, the ones that are making the games, not the leadership, not the people higher up, no investors, nothing. That is going straight to those pockets. Those dev teams that are less than 10 people, 5 people, hell, there's so many indie devs that are just 1 or 2 people buy their games. Please, I urge you, go on Steam, go on Xbox, whatever the PlayStation Store is right now, look up some indie games. There are some amazing ones. You will not miss any of them. Please buy them. I assure you, you are not wasting your money and you're gonna have a damn good time. Post recording Art Edit here. The games I want to name out for that are indie that you should definitely check out. This is mainly on my Steam library: BattleBit Remastered, Content Warning, Enter the Gungeon, Gunfire Reborn, Hollow Cure, which is free by the way, The Last Spell, Rabbit and Steel, Risk Rain 2, My Beloved, Risk Rain Returns, Slay the Spire, Slime Rancher, Terraria technically is not indie, but it's a game that's like $5-10 most of the time. You should definitely check it out. Tiny Rogues, my second beloved, and Ultra Kill, especially Ultra Kill, and also Void Crew to play with your friends. This is a small sample size, but this is the amazing games you should very much spend your microtransaction money on. Please, 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 please buy indie right now. The main message is too, if your sole game right now is just Destiny, please play other games. There is much more other games. You do not need to just only play on Destiny. Especially as a PvP player, you really take a break right now because it's rough until the weekend. Then hop on Trials and I'll see you in there. But for now, take it easy, Guardians. For all developers that were cut off from Bungie and or moved around because of Sony, I appreciated you, I appreciate your work, and I appreciate everything you've done. Thank you. The final ship was amazing, and your work and your success will definitely be appreciated in a new job and area. Thank you, and take it easy.